This Land Cruiser was free. It was rusty, it was barely running, and it ended up costing me more than a brand new one. Today, I'm breaking down exactly how this rust bucket drained $1,000 from my bank account. It's a number so painful, I can barely say it out loud. By the end of this video, I'll show you the full receipt so you can decide for yourself if I'm crazy or if I'm a genius. By the time I was done, I could have bought a brand new car for what I spent on this 24-year-old rust bucket. Now let's talk about what had to be done on this car. Roll the footage. Here's a clip with the car after I lifted the suspension and fixed the engine. The bumpers were barely hanging on, so I took them off. You can see the rust on the rear reinforcement bar. Look at the holes in the sills. Unreal. The front rebar was completely rusted off, so installing reinforced steel off-road bumpers was a no-brainer. Back to real me. Mechanically, it was tired. It was starting, but it had a really rough idle and it barely ran. It smoked, it leaked, and it had no power. It could barely even go up my driveway. But here's the thing, it wasn't just one catastrophic failure. It was a bunch of problems that were ignored by the previous owner, and they just compounded. The car became undrivable, so it sat outside for the last 10 years. The suspension was a disaster. The auto leveling function was completely seized, and that means it had no shocks. It was running like a plank. On the road, it was all over the place. Off-road, I didn't have the guts to try. And then it's the rust. The sills were rusted. The undercarriage was rusted. Everything was full of rust, and that took by far the most amount of work to fix. Every single bolt on the underside and in the suspension was rusted solid. Everything that was made out of rubber was at the end of its life. Every single hose, every single gasket, everything had to be replaced. Let's talk about the engine. It had no power, it was leaking like crazy, and it was puffing a lot of smoke out of the exhaust. That turned out to be a whole lot of work because all the injectors were clogged. The intake was so full of gunk. But worst of all, this car didn't have the proper maintenance, and I think that the fuel filter was never changed. And this led to catastrophic failure on the fuel pump. And the fuel pump for this car, it's high pressure, it's electronically controlled, it's very, very sensitive to bad diesel. So I had to buy that refurbished straight from Japan. And I learned the hard way that this is the trap with free cars. Nothing is completely broken, but nothing is quite right. And if you want to have a reliable car that can take you off-roading like I did, then there's no cutting corners with this car. Because worst case scenario for me, I get stranded on top of the mountain and there's no rescue for at least 50 miles around. So in theory, you could just drive it as is. But in practice, you wouldn't get very far. So now that you understand the condition, let's talk about what it took to fix this beast. Before I show you the final number, I just want to make something clear. This wasn't just one big repair. This was death by 1,000 small cuts. The first priority was to fix the engine because it had literally no power. It was running, but it was so bad. So the entire top end had to be taken off the car. All the injectors had to be refurbished. The valves had to be reseated. The intake had to be cleaned. Every single coolant hose, every single line around the engine had to be completely replaced. This wasn't about upgrades. This was about reliability. The propeller shaft on the turbo was completely broken in pieces. By the time the engine alone was sorted out, I was already several $1,000s into the build. This was the most expensive part of the build. Everything, and I mean everything in the suspension had to go. The original AHC adjustable height control system of the car, which probably was brilliant in its time, was completely seized up. one of the shocks was rusted and broken and all the fluid leaked out, which meant that the AHC was running dry, so it completely rusted and seized from the inside out. Everything in the suspension had to go. At this point, looking at the rusted suspension, I realized I was already over budget and I haven't even touched the brakes yet. This is where most sane people would have scrapped the car. But no, not this idiot. This idiot saw potential. The door sills, they were completely rotten. I could put my whole fist inside the door panel. So here's the breakdown. $2,500 rebuilding the engine. Another $2,000, the fuel pump. I know, that's a lot of money for a fuel pump. This, brand new from Toyota, $6,000. Refurbished, in really good condition, $2,000. So far, after almost 20,000 kilometers, I believe that's 12,000 miles, it's still going strong. So I think that was a pretty good deal. Suspension and brakes, $5,000. Rust and age repair, $2,500. Other miscellaneous parts, another $3,000. And off-road parts, $10,000. And climbing. The total cost of this Land Cruiser, from a free car to something that I could actually rely on and turn it into an unbeatable off-road vehicle, was $25,000. And it's still climbing. Yes, that is a lot more than I would have paid for this car had I actually bought it. Do I regret it? Absolutely not. But I also wouldn't call it cheap. It was a great learning experience. I touched every single nut and bolt on the engine and on the suspension, so I have peace of mind knowing that I did everything right, and I turned this car into a true off-roader. I trust it completely when I go off-roading, and it has never once let me down. Shockingly, it needs another round of work, because the truth with this car is that almost every time I go out with it off-roading, something breaks or something needs maintenance. And in the next video, I'll show you exactly what needs fixing before I take it out into the wild again. So, like and subscribe if you want to see the next chapter. Ciao!